Welcome back to Survival 101. Today I'll be talking about how I built this trellis for the garden and how you can build your own. What you'll need are two 10-foot PVC poles and some trellis mesh. You can get these PVC poles for anywhere, your local hardware store or Home Depot, Lowe's. They cost about $2.50 a piece and are very strong and sturdy. I strongly recommend them to use for this. Trellis mesh you can get at your local garden center or nursery. What it is, basically like a soccer or sports net, but a little thinner. It's still very strong and support the plants well. What you're going to do once you get the 10-foot PVC poles, you're going to cut them in half so they're 5 foot. And for this trellis mesh that I got was 10 foot by 5 foot. What I did is I cut the poles all evenly 5 foot, as you can see, and I lined them up, and I made small holes right there. That's where the trellis mesh will be tied to the poles. I used shoelaces and some rope. What you're going to do is make holes that are spaced about 1.5 feet apart, and tie the trellis mesh to it with a good knot, and make sure it's very tight, because if it's not tight, when the heavy fruit's on it, it's just going to go down and not really be useful at all. What you want to do is have it so it's tied very tight, got no slack. And how you can secure this pole, you can get more PVC poles and possibly put stakes on the bottom and put it right in the ground. But what I did is I have a railing here, and I tied it with some shoelace to the railing in a couple spots down to the bottom, and it's very sturdy. It's not going to go anywhere. You want to make sure that you have it secured enough to hold all the weight of the fruit. It's going to be very heavy, but you got everything. So what you want to do is cut the 10-foot PVC poles in half so they're 5 foot. I used 3 of them only because this is all I needed for the size of the trellis mesh I had, and I drilled holes through them so they're lined up with the other ones on each side going down. And once you have these holes drilled through them, you tie a rope or shoelace around it, and this trellis mesh is it's like a grid, like a soccer net. You can take it and tie a knot around the mesh with the rope or shoelace that ties it to the pole, like this, as you can see right there, tying the mesh, and that'll keep it strong, and secure it into the ground or to a railing like this, or you can even tie it or screw it into a fence. That's all you need, and this is how to build your own trellis for very cheap and easy. Join us next time on Survival 101.